We all know that the next 6 Marvel films are Iron Man 3, Captain America Winter Soldier, Thor The Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers 2, and then Ant-Man, being directed by Shaun of the Dead and Scott Pilgrim's director, Edgar Wright. Now it appears that Doctor Strange may be the next Marvel character to join the movie universe, as president of production Kevin Feige said the following. He is a great original character, and he checks the box off this criteria that I have. He's totally different from anything else we have, just like Guardians of the Galaxy. He's totally different from anything we've done before, as is Ant-Man, which keeps us excited. John, buy or sell a Doctor Strange movie?
I'm going to buy it. And he's right. I mean, the one hesitation I would have is that he is so radically different from everything else they've done so far in the Marvel Universe. But then again, so is Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, I'm gonna cautiously go with the buy on this.
I have heard a plethora of casting rumors. Names like Jim Caviezel, Hugh Laurie, Patrick Dempsey, Nestor Carbonell, Adrian Brody, Timothy Oliphant, Joseph Fiennes, Viggo Mortensen, Aidan Gillen, John Cusack, and Joel Edgerton. Wow, that is a mouthful.
Yeah.
Have all been rumored to be playing the iconic
So basically
role.
everyone in Hollywood
Everyone
is
in Hollywood
rumored.
might
And
be up for the role.
That's just some of the names. Who would you like to see in this role, and what can we expect to hear, or when can we expect to hear an official casting announcement?
Okay, Doctor Strange is all about, which is Timothy Oliphant for sure.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. He looks like he has that crazy widow's peak going on. You know, you don't even need a wig department on that. Like, I think he'd be so good. I'd love that.
I see one of the 2 names on this list. One, Joseph Fiennes, who I think is a treasure of an actor. I think he would fit in well. But the other guy, and I never would have thought of him on my own, I can totally see Patrick Dempsey playing Doctor Strange.
Really?
Especially after watching the animated Doctor Strange movie.
And Made in Manhattan.
I can totally see Patrick Dempsey, Maid of Honor. Playing Doctor Strange. I think he'd be great, and not just because he plays a doctor on TV, which I've seen 3 or 4 episodes of Grey's Anatomy in my time, but that's about it.
Exclusive.
But I really think that dude could pull off Doctor Strange really, really well, so I'd be all on board for that.
Who do you think should play him? My guess is Patrick Dempsey. Your thoughts?
Riley, you and me, buddy, we've got like a newer link going on. I watched the Doctor Strange. Well, first of all, let's say this. It is not for sure that a Doctor Strange movie's coming. They've put it on their docket. Marvel is looking at it, and they're developing a script. But we're nowhere near the point where they're saying, green light, this is coming, here's the release date, we're doing this. And it's not 100% official. They are working towards it, but it's not official yet. So let's just get that out of the way. I watched the Doctor Strange animated film that Marvel put out a couple years ago, finally. And all I could think about the entire time I was watching it was, they got to get Patrick Dempsey to play this. They got to get Patrick Dempsey. I'm not a big Patrick Dempsey fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm watching him like, all I could think was Patrick Dempsey, Patrick Dempsey, Patrick Dempsey. So I'm telling you, dude, there are probably some other really, really good actors that could totally play the role and do it great. But the image locked in my head, like you, is Patrick Dempsey. So I'm with you.
According to a report from The Hollywood Reporter, it looks like a Doctor Strange movie is slowly moving forward. The report claims that Marvel has created a short list of potential directors for the new film, which include Jonathan Levine, who directed 50-50 and Warm Bodies, Brave co-director Mark Andrews, Nikolaj Arcel, director of the foreign film A Royal Affair and writer of the Swedish version of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Dean Israelite, director of the upcoming Welcome to Yesterday. John, what do you make of this list?
It's actually quite an interesting list when you look down the names. And the nice thing about this list, I'm trying to read those updated scores as I'm talking. One of the things I like about the list is it is kind of outside of the box. This is not a list of names that you would have expected to see. But, I mean, if it comes down to it, I like Levine's name. When you really look at 50-50, he's shown he knows how to handle a more dramatic narrative type. When you look at Warm Bodies, he was able to pepper really cool narrative with a fun, lighthearted story. That is the Marvel wheelhouse right now. So he would be the name to me, but I am very actually kind of excited about this list because it is so outside of the box. It's different. I'm excited. I'd like to see it go to Levine, but that's just my thoughts.
A short time ago, it was being reported that the potential list of directors for the future Marvel film Doctor Strange was narrowed down to just a few names, and now it's being claimed that the list is down to 3. Among the names listed are Brave director Mark Andrews and Jonathan Levine of 50/50 and Warm Bodies, in addition to Scott Derrickson of Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose fame. Schnepp, buy or sell any of these directors for Doctor Strange?
I don't know. I can't really buy any of them right at this moment. All of them seem a little off to me. I understand why they might be going with the Brave directors.
Right.
So that makes the most sense. So if any of those directors, I would buy that. The director of Sinister, I think he's up for also doing a video game adaptation. That's what he's working on right now. I thought Sinister was okay directed, and especially with the supernatural elements, I really felt it fell short. It was very like dissolve-y. Instead of using any kind of like scary graphics or any kind of like buildup of momentum, it was a lot of lockdown shots with dissolves that were supposed to be scary of little children doing this, but instead I laughed. So to me, like, and that's obviously I think it's his first film. So it was the first 20 minutes was incredibly well directed of Sinister. So, it's him growing as a director. So I can't knock off any of these guys, but I can't buy any of them either. For Doctor Strange, I want to see, Doctor Strange is one of my favorite Marvel characters. So I really want to see that Steve Ditko, Stan Lee flavor with all of the newer incarnations. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I really liked Sinister up until the last 15 minutes. I thought that the last 15 minutes of Sinister completely derailed the film for me because up until that point, I got to admit, I was really into the movie.
Okay.
And I felt, personally for me, and horror is so subjectively experiential as compared to a lot of other types of genres. And for me, I did feel the kind of creepiness, and I liked the way they were handling the story. And, that's a really low budget film.
Yeah.
And the way they were able to make this very tiny, but I think it was sub 1 million, maybe even. This tiny budget film felt like a real production to me. And, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, I thought they did a great job on that. I got to tell you, this is the new name in the mix because we've heard Levine's name, we've heard the other names before. This is the first time we're hearing Derrickson's name in this, and I really like it.
I forgot he directed The Exorcist.
Yeah, and somebody with a horror background.
Right.
I don't know. Has Marvel had a guy with like a horror background handle one of their properties yet?
No, not yet. I mean, of all the names, his name popped out the most as far as like, that's an interesting choice because he is from horror. So he would definitely be able to add that. I just want it to be, and I'll be honest, I hadn't seen The Exorcism of Emily Rose, so I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, cool. Well, just from Sinister alone, I know he can handle low budget and make it look good, like you said. I just felt it. The way that he visualized some of these scenes that were supposed to be either scary or like the sequence where the guy's face in the QuickTime movie moves, stuff like that. Just me personally, I didn't like, but I know a lot of other people did. So,
John, what do you think of Scott Derrickson for Doctor Strange?
I love it. Actually, it was back, I believe, in March that Schnepp and I did a show together, and we were talking about, there was a big list of potential guys to direct, and I said, this guy, Scott Derrickson, this is the guy who needs to direct this. I really enjoyed what he did with Sinister. The film completely fell apart in the last 15 minutes, but other than that, I thought it was a sub $1 million film.
Right.
That was, I thought, it all takes place in one house. And it's just beautifully crafted. It was really well done. What he did with The Exorcism of Emily Rose was really special too. And I really like the fact they're going with a guy who I don't expect Doctor Strange to be a horror film, but I do like the fact that they're getting a guy with a horror background who can bring those elements and that type of tension, those sorts of settings to the big screen, the character, because this can't be Ant-Man. This is Doctor Strange. It's got to be on that level. I love this decision. I love this choice. Let's hope he doesn't back out. So, Schnepp.
Yeah, I'm down with it. Like I had problems as well with the ending of Sinister with the little creepy kids and so much. I was like, I wasn't scared, Boogeyman and all that. But I like the choice of going with a horror director.
Alicia?
Well, like we were saying with Star Wars, I love how Marvel are collecting these really different directors. So each different Marvel film has such a unique tone about it. And now they've got such a great stable of directors under them, from Kenneth Branagh to James Gunn, and now Scott. I think he fits in perfectly.
And Edgar
I'm
Wright.
excited.
Oh.
I'm still sad about that.
Still sad about
about that.
Dun, dun,
but I'm excited about Scott.
Yeah, another unconventional choice, which I'm really a big fan of. And The Exorcism of Emily Rose, despite not liking the title, because it's a little close for home for me, it was a really good film. And the pace was fantastic. And that's a lot of the times with horror films that's missing. You know, they have the big drama and build up and all of that, but the pace is sometimes all over the place. And that's exactly what I want in a property like this. And I think it's going to translate exceptionally well. And he's obviously he knows exactly what this kind of property is. You can tell he's a real fan, and those are always the people that I want to help shepherd this to the big screen.
I personally love Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's one of the greater actors working right now. Like, I put him up there with Fassbender, and I think he's super talented. If you have not seen The Master, you absolutely have to see that movie. He's brilliant. Like, he's such a good actor. And I think he's actually the perfect guy for Doctor Strange, because he dives so deep when he plays a character. He goes right in there. He goes right to the heart of what that character is. I think he would do loads of research. I think he would just completely embody that character. So I feel, and he's a little strange. So it's perfect.
According to reports, talks between Marvel and Phoenix, who was the frontrunner for the role, have broken down, and Phoenix has pulled out of negotiations to play the character. Benedict Cumberbatch is reportedly in final negotiations to star as Doctor Strange in the Scott Derrickson-directed Marvel film. The short list of actors for the role once included Joaquin Phoenix, Ethan Hawke, Jared Leto, Ryan Gosling, Tom Hardy, Justin Theroux, and Keanu Reeves. But now it appears that Cumberbatch may become the Sorcerer Supreme. Amy Rose, if this locks, are you happy about this casting?
Well, first of all, that picture is awesome. Big fan of this. Benedict Cumberbatch is one of the best genre actors out there.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I would have loved to see Joaquin Phoenix, obviously, in the role, but I wasn't surprised that he decided not to do it. Jared Leto would have been amazing. It seems like Benedict and Tom Hardy are the two that we talk about for every single role, but that's because they're both so fantastic. Benedict, always brilliant at playing these genius characters. We've been talking about on AMCI Indie Spotlight about Imitation Game, where he plays Alan Turing, and he looks like he's a lock for an Oscar nomination from The Buzz, from that movie. Here, Doctor Strange, he's a neuroscientist, isn't he? So I feel like he's playing another genius, and he's good at that. He brings shades to his characters.
Psycho genius, he's great at that.
I'm all for it. And he looks good with the goatee.
He sure does.
Marvel Studios, after some time of speculation, has now officially confirmed that actor Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. He will be playing Doctor Strange in the upcoming Marvel film set for release in 2016. November 4th, 2016 to be specific.
Marvel Studios has officially cast Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige released this statement along with the announcement. Stephen Strange's story requires an actor capable of great depth and sincerity. In 2016, Benedict will show audiences what makes Doctor Strange such a unique and compelling character. Doctor Strange will be directed by Scott Derrickson and is set to hit theaters November 4th, 2016.
But he definitely fell into that bucket that you could have pulled any monkey out of the barrel and said, anybody out of this particular barrel would be a great choice. He's definitely one of them, so I'm excited about it.
Yep. Yeah, wasn't Jared Leto also like in content? You know,
he was one of the names
one of the
floated.
swirling names.
He was in the bucket. He was in the monkey bucket.
He was in the bucket. Yeah.
You know, I'll say once Benedict's name came up, like I wasn't really thinking about who's going to play Doctor Strange, but once his name came up, I was like, man, I hope they get him, because I had seen the play Frankenstein where he played both the monster and the doctor. And the version I saw, he was playing the doctor. You know, I know he was Dr. Frankenstein. He was incredible, and we've seen him in all these other films. He just has a great presence. And to play Doctor Strange and be able to pull off saying the hoary host of Hoggoth, and, you know, by the swirling symbols of Scrimscambulin or whatever, any of those crazy things, and to cast spells and open up weird portals, other dimensions, you need an actor who you believe can do that.
Everybody say, Cumberbatch at some point went, wait, this will be the most popular movie I ever do in my life. Maybe I should sign up for this.
Final, wear the cape to the Oscars, okay? That would be awesome.
It's being rumored that Oscar-nominated actor Chiwetel Ejiofor is nearing a deal to appear in the upcoming Doctor Strange movie starring Benedict Cumberbatch. Marvel has not confirmed this report, and it is not known yet what role Ejiofor could be potentially playing. Doctor Strange opens in AMC theaters on November 4th, 2016. Christian, buy or sell this potential casting?
Huge buy. I can't buy this anymore. This guy's the best. The funny thing is, had Chadwick Boseman not been announced as Black Panther and this story came out, everyone would be saying, he's Black Panther, he's Black Panther. But who cares what he plays? It's going to be big. He's going to be great. The fact to put, going back to the point we just made before of the type of talent that they're putting, him and Cumberbatch in the same movie, yeah, I mean, who's going to sell this? If anyone sells this, I'm sorry, guys, I'm leaving the table.
A few months ago, it was being reported that Chiwetel Ejiofor would be appearing in Doctor Strange. However, we didn't know what character he would be playing. According to Deadline, Ejiofor will be playing Baron Mordo, a Transylvanian nobleman who became a student of Doctor Strange's mentor, the Ancient One, and then later becomes enemies with Strange.
Alicia, buy or sell Tilda Swinton playing the Ancient One in Doctor Strange?
Well, I buy for Tilda Swinton because she is such a fantastic actress. Everything she does is brilliant. I also love the idea of Tilda Swinton and Benedict Cumberbatch in the one movie together. I can't wait for that. But I understand people's reservations when it comes to this character. Originally a Tibetan character. Maybe they could have found, whether it's a male or a female, they could have found an Asian actor to play this character. I definitely understand that, but I know she's going to be great. And she's played male characters before. She's very androgynous. I imagine her as a wise ancient one. She seems like she's from another planet. So I buy it for her, but I completely understand the reservations.
According to a report in Variety, Mikkelsen is currently in talks with Marvel to appear in the upcoming Doctor Strange in an unknown villain role. As many of you will remember, Mikkelsen was at one time up to play the role of Malekith in Thor: The Dark World a few years ago before the part went to Doctor Who star Christopher Eccleston. John, do you think Mikkelsen would be a good fit for Doctor Strange?
Yes, I do. I think very much he would be a great fit for Doctor Strange. I mean, I've seen him in a number of things before, and of course, obviously, he's the villain in Casino Royale, in which he was fantastic. And everybody kept talking about how good Hannibal was. You, is particularly, remember, you told me a number of times, I really got to check out Hannibal. So last week, home one night, Anne's out, doing something with some friends. I said, all right, I'll put on Hannibal. And I watched the whole first season in about 3 days. And it's like, this guy has such a presence. And it's not just the voice, and it's not just his face, and it's not just his mannerisms or how he carries himself. It's all of it put together. This dude owns a screen when he is on it. He just, you cannot take your eyes off him because of what he emotes. It's incredible. Having him play not just any villain, like you name him for any villain role, I say yes, yes, yes. A villain in Doctor Strange, that reeks of perfection. It just sounds amazing.
I love it. I mean, he's one of my favorite actors. If you haven't seen Valhalla Rising, it's like almost no dialogue. It just relies solely almost on shots of his face seething with anger. It's a great film. And he's a great actor, and I love Hannibal. So I was really pissed that they canceled Hannibal because they're like, well, come on. But to hear that he's going to be a Doctor Strange, that just ratcheted it up. They've got Benedict Cumberbatch, Tilda Swinton, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and now this guy. It's everyone's saying he's going to play Dormammu, who's like this villain, in Doctor Strange. He's one of the most powerful villains. He's got
that's a speculation. I haven't heard anybody
my speculation, he's going to play a character called Nightmare. That's just my guess, because it would almost be like it's just too easy for him to be Dormammu. So I think they would spin it and maybe try this other character, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, how's this for a career checklist where you go Bond villain into playing Hannibal, into being in a Star Wars movie, and now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And as Sinead mentioned, I am
not a bad day.
I am thrilled that he wasn't cast as Malekith, because I think his powers could be used more in something like Doctor Strange that has an air of mystery to it, an air of the unknown, some mystical power that he can create. Now, obviously, with Thor, there's a lot of stuff you can do on Asgard, but this seems more like the right fit for him, and he's going to be playing a bad guy again. As we talked about on Jedi Council on Wednesday, he's probably not playing a bad guy in Rogue One, so I'm interested to see that shade of his ability, but we know this guy can be evil when he wants to. Him being in the Marvel Universe goes together like Mark Ellis and light beer. This is the right play.
And it appears they have found their leading lady. According to reports, actress Rachel McAdams has joined the film in an undisclosed role. McAdams was previously in talks for the film film, but claimed she didn't think the talks would necessarily go anywhere. Schnepp, what do you think of Rachel McAdams joining Doctor Strange?
Well, Rachel McAdams is a great addition to an already stellar cast. I mean, it's ridiculous how good this cast is. And yeah, I mean, I think the art there is like an overly sexualized Clea. Thanks, Ray. finds the most strange, just like overly sexualized.
If you need actual over-sexualization, you go
need
to Ray.
your actors to be instantly sexualized, please contact Ray Ora. And he will find it for you if it exists on the internet.
Mark?
Clea and
Dormammu.
Not that familiar with the Doctor Strange universe at all. I am familiar, of course, with Rachel McAdams. And look, I didn't stay with True Detective season 2, but the first couple episodes I did watch, I was impressed seeing her do something different that I hadn't seen Rachel McAdams pull off yet. She was tougher than and a little over-sexualized actually in that role. That I think I'm like, okay, she's got a new layer to her that I haven't seen before. I'm not sure if that's what sold Marvel on putting her in Doctor Strange, but she clearly is an actress that has range. So of course I think she'll be a credit to this. I can't speculate on what in the Doctor Strange lore as to who she'll be, if she'll be good or bad, or with Cumberbatch or with Chiwetel Ejiofor or Tilda Swinton, whoever she's with. I think it's going to be a credit to the movie.
In the photos, Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Doctor Strange, is seen sporting a beard while walking around Nepal. The film also stars Tilda Swinton, Rachel McAdams, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Mads Mikkelsen, Michael Stuhlbarg, and is being directed by Scott Derrickson. Doctor Strange is set to open on November 4th, 2016.
What are your expectations for the upcoming Doctor Strange movie? With Cumberbatch in the lead role and a fresh new Marvel origin story, should we be setting the bar high? Even though we haven't seen him on the screen before, I think we should be setting our expectations relatively high. Thanks.
I think your expectations should be sky high for Doctor Strange, and Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange is the least of the reasons why I think that. I think Cumberbatch is great. He's going to make a fantastic Doctor Strange, but it's this source material directed by a guy like Scott Derrickson, bringing his vision, his horror background to what this story is going to be and how it ties into the greater MCU is what I'm most looking forward to, and it's not just a one-man show. Cumberbatch is going to be fine as Doctor Strange, but you have so many stars supporting him in this movie. I can't wait to see what Tilda Swinton is like in this movie. There's so many other things to be excited about, and on top of that, yes, is Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's the dark horse. For myself, being a Doctor Strange fan, it's a dream come true. And then just with the casting, it's like, wow, I would never thought that they get that level of acting talent to all be in one movie. Tilda Swinton, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, who else is in it?
Rachel McAdams.
Mads Mikkelsen. Come on. It's ridiculous. So it's almost like you're going to go in there. How I went in with Deadpool is like, I've got really high expectations. I hope it doesn't fail me. I don't think it's going to fail me. I think everything that I've read about it so far, everything that I've seen so far, feels like they're really sticking really true to the story of Doctor Strange, which is really a great thing. If you don't know about Doctor Strange, check out a Marvel comic, get on it, read up on this character. He's a really cool, interesting character, different enough from all the other superheroes that it makes it fresh and refreshing. And to see Marvel jump into this trans-dimensional world, that's what I'm most excited about.
Great movie. You're not going to think it's the best Marvel one, but you're going to think it's a great Doctor Strange film.
All right, 1 out of 10, Frosty. What are you giving it?
I'm not good at these numbers. I'm going to go with an 8-something, but I don't know what the 8-something is.
8 point something.
So something can't be. Pick a number.
No, I'll go with 8-something for now.
Okay.
I was busy debating between a 7.5 and an 8, so I'm going to go right smack in the middle and say 7.75 out of 10.
Not 7-something. And I think the risk pays off. I give it a 9.5. The only thing that's taking me from giving it a 10 are some of those things that we can't talk about right now involving the story structure. But to me, it's one of the most incredible adaptations of a comic book movie I've ever seen.
I'm going to give it an 8.3. And I definitely recommend seeing it. See it in 3D. I didn't see it in IMAX, though.
I don't think it's ready to be shown in IMAX yet, but I do know that it's going to look... I've spoken to some people, and it's going to look very...
No, we saw it in IMAX yesterday.
Did you see it
at the premiere? They went to the premiere.
Yeah.
We went to the
Schnepp and Campy went to the premiere.
Yeah, the Mans.
Oh, so you saw it in IMAX?
Yeah, saw it in IMAX.
Oh, so there you go.
IMAX 3D. That's why I was saying it's incredible, and it's worth driving an hour to see it in IMAX 3D. IMAX is not paying me to say this. I'm just saying my eyes paid me to say this. So.